Welcome to the Deep Dive Stripe Life Edition. If you're a novice referee, this deep dive is, well, it's absolutely crucial. We're moving off the ice surface and taking command of what is, let's be honest, the most chaotic area of the rink, the players' benches.
That's the perfect way to put it. Our mission today is really to give you the confidence, the clarity to manage all those people, control the line changes, and shut down bad behavior from the sidelines.
And we're pulling this straight from the USA Hockey 2025-29 rule book.
We are. And for any referee controlling that bench, it just prevents so many problems from ever spilling onto the ice. If you don't establish your authority there, you are basically inviting chaos into your game.
Absolutely. So we're drilling down into 4 key areas: legal roster composition, the very, very limited power of the captain, the tightrope walk of the too many players penalty, and, of course, the whole ladder of bench misconducts.
This is the heart of preventative officiating.
It is. Okay, let's unpack this. Let's start with the absolute fundamentals of team structure. We're looking at rules 201 and 203. Before the puck even drops, you have to be sure the teams are, legally composed. So what are the non-negotiable minimums?
The game just can't start unless a team can put a minimum of 6 players on the ice, period. If they can't hit that 6-player mark, the game is forfeited right then and there.
6 to start.
6 to start.
Yeah.
Now, once the game gets going, that number changes a little. If a team, maybe through penalties or an injury, ever drops below 4 players on the ice, the game is over. Forfeited immediately.
So 6 to start, 4 to sustain. That's a vital distinction.
Huge.
What about the other side of it? The maximum roster size? I know the standard, but there are some exceptions we should probably clarify.
Yeah, typically the max dressed roster is 20 players, which means 18 skaters and 2 goalies. But, and you have to know this, USA Hockey makes an exception for youth tier I and girls tier I. They're allowed to dress 22 players, so 20 skaters maximum. The key is to always check the official score sheet rules for the level you're officiating. Don't guess.
And beyond the players, we have team officials, the coaches, the managers.
And this is where your control starts right away. The rule is crystal clear. A maximum of 4 team officials on the player's bench.
Okay, so what's the procedure? You skate over, you count 5 or 6 people stacked up on the bench. What do? You don't just blow the whistle, right?
No, absolutely not. This is a perfect example of progressive enforcement. You don't go straight to a penalty. First, you just direct the team to correct it. Tell them, Coach, somebody needs to leave the bench area.
Give them the chance to fix it.
Exactly. Now, if they refuse, if the violation continues, then you assess a bench minor penalty for delaying the game. Their refusal becomes the infraction.
Okay, that makes sense. Moving on to the roster sheet itself, Rule 203. This isn't just paperwork, is it? This is about ineligible players.
That's right. This is serious business. Players have to be on that score sheet before they participate. If a player, especially in the youth classifications, gets added after the game starts,
what happens?
A bench minor penalty is assessed for each player they add. It's an administrative error that costs them ice time.
And here's the real warning shot for the teams. What if an ineligible player, someone who isn't even listed, gets on the ice and actually scores a goal?
Oof. The consequence is severe. If a player who is not on the score sheet participates and scores, and the team was already at their maximum number of listed skaters, you disallow the goal.
The goal comes off the board.
Goal comes off the board. And even worse for them, that player is removed from the game permanently. You wipe the goal and you kick the player out. So once we're sure the benches are legally staffed, the focus shifts to the official point of contact, the captain. Rule 202 is so important here, and enforcing it is one of your best tools for maintaining control.
This is the communication valve, right? But what exactly is the captain's sole authority? It's not a free pass to come over and argue every call.
Absolutely not. And the rule is extremely specific about this. Only the captain, or an alternate when the captain is on the bench, has the privilege of discussing a rule interpretation with the referee.
Interpretation, that's the key word.
That's it. Full stop. Not judgment.
So let's play this out. A captain comes to you, he's upset, demanding to know why you missed a trip or why you penalized his star player. Those are judgment calls. How do you handle that?
You hold the line firmly but calmly. You just state, Captain, that's a judgment call, and it's not up for discussion under Rule 202. If you keep going, I'll have to assess an unsportsmanlike penalty. The rulebook is your shield here. It explicitly says they can't debate judgment.
So you're just upholding the rule.
You're just upholding the rule. And this leads to something really critical. If a captain leaves the bench to protest, and you have not specifically invited him over to talk.
What's the call?
You must assess a minor penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. It's not a maybe, it's a must. That mandatory call protects your authority.
We should quickly clarify about the goalie. Can a goalie wear the C?
No. Rule 202A is explicit. Goalkeepers cannot have captain's privileges. If you see a C on a goalie's jersey before the game, you tell the coach they have to pick a skater, or they lose the privilege altogether.
All right, now we get to the thing that causes, I think, the most headaches for every official out there. The substitution tightrope. Rule 204. Too many players on the ice.
This is where we need to spend some time, because it's happening every single shift. The key is what I call the golden rule of change. A substituting player can only enter the ice when the player leaving is at the player's bench and out of the play.
Let's define out of the play. Does the retiring player have to be fully standing on the bench, or is just being near it okay? What does that mean?
Out of the play means they are no longer participating. They're not influencing anything. They don't need to have both skates inside the door. But if they're still, 10 feet away and skating towards the puck, they're still in the play.
So it's not about a specific distance.
No, it's a judgment call based on competitive advantage.
That's the link. Competitive advantage. So when is that bench minor actually triggered?
It's triggered by a few specific actions. If the new player or the old player deliberately plays the puck or makes contact with an opponent while they're both on the ice, that's an automatic bench minor.
Okay.
But it's also triggered if the team just gains a competitive advantage because that extra player is there. Maybe they block a pass or they're just available for a quick outlet. That's enough.
Every ref has had to blow that whistle on a perfect breakout because a guy was just a few feet slow getting off. It's a painful call, but you have to make it.
You have to.
Now, what if the puck just accidentally hits a changing player?
Good question. If a player is clearly trying to get off the ice and the puck accidentally hits them, play continues. No penalty. The rule is designed to punish a strategic advantage, not just bad luck. Okay, we have to make a really critical distinction here, especially for the novice ref. The big one. The penalty shot exception.
Yes. This causes so much confusion. Everyone thinks it's about the time on the clock, but it's really about the type of substitution, isn't it?
Exactly. A penalty shot is only awarded for a deliberate illegal substitution. That's the key phrase. Think about a player illegally leaving the penalty box early to get in on a breakaway.
So it's about cheating the system.
It's about cheating the system, and it has to happen with less than 2 minutes left in regulation or any time in overtime.
So just to be perfectly clear, a team messes up a simple line change. They have 6 skaters on the ice with 30 seconds left in a tied game. What's the call?
It is still just the normal bench minor penalty. That common substitution error does not become a penalty shot no matter what time is left on the clock.
That's a huge point of clarity. Thank you.
You have to know that one cold.
Let's shift gears quickly to goalkeeper substitutions. Rule 205. How does the penalty change when a goalie gets swapped for an extra attacker too early?
It changes a lot, actually. It's treated more like a procedural mistake. If a skater jumps on before the goalie's at the bench, there is no time penalty.
No penalty.
No time penalty. Instead, the faceoff just moves to the center ice spot. It costs the team in terms of ice position, but they don't go shorthanded.
That's a helpful correction. And once that substitute goalie is in during a stoppage, when can the original goalie come back?
The original goalie cannot return until the next stoppage of play. If they try to swap back in during live play, that will get them a bench minor for illegal substitution. All right, our final section, Rule 601, is all about bench conduct. And this is where you, as the referee, have to project the most authority. Enforcing these rules is just. It's vital for protecting everyone involved in the game.
Before we get into the specifics, let's just clarify the penalty scale, because these terms get thrown around. Bench minor, misconduct, game misconduct. What's the actual impact of each?
Excellent point. A bench minor is a 2-minute team penalty. Someone on the ice has to serve it, and the team plays shorthanded. Simple. A misconduct is a 10-minute personal penalty. The player goes to the box for 10 minutes, but the team can put someone else on the ice immediately. It's like a 10-minute timeout for that player.
And the big one?
The game misconduct. That's an ejection. The player or the coach is gone from the game, period.
That context is so important. So let's list the actions from bench personnel that immediately get you that first bench minor for unsportsmanlike conduct.
Okay, you must assess a bench minor for a few things. Using obscene, profane, or abusive language toward any person. Throwing any object onto the ice. Using an official's name in a loud or abusive way. And listen to this one specifically.
Okay.
Banging the boards with a stick or something after a body check, especially if it's clearly meant to, escalate things or incite more rough stuff.
So if a coach gets that bench minor for yelling, but he just keeps going, what's the escalation path?
It's a clear ladder you have to climb. He gets the bench minor, he continues the abuse. The next penalty is a misconduct against him personally. If he still persists after that or does something really bad like use an obscene gesture,
He's gone.
he gets an immediate game misconduct. You start low, and you move up the ladder to maintain control.
You have to draw that hard line. And a quick reminder about our physical space, the referee's crease.
Yes, that 10-foot semicircle by the scorekeeper's box is your safe zone. It's where you can talk to your partners. If a player enters that crease during a discussion without your permission, especially to argue, a misconduct penalty is definitely on the table, usually after a very loud warning.
And finally, the nuclear option. Rule 633, refusing to start play.
This rule is designed for one thing: forcing immediate compliance. If a team refuses to get on the ice, you give the captain a 15-second warning. If they still refuse, you assess a bench minor. After a second final warning, if they're still refusing, you suspend the game.
And assess a match penalty.
A match penalty to the responsible coach or coaches. It's a very clear series of steps that says, play the game or you're done.
This whole deep dive really underlines that your job as a referee is just so much broader than following the puck. You're the final authority managing the teams, the substitutions, the behavior. Bench control is a core part of the job.
Precisely. And that control starts before the puck even drops with that score sheet, and it continues every single line change. If the coaches and players know you're going to hold that line, that you're going to enforce these rules we talked about, they are so much less likely to test you.
It's all about preventing problems before they start.
It is. And that requires projecting composure, especially when you're making a call.
Absolutely. So let's leave our novice officials with this final thought to chew on. The rules give the captain the sole right to question and interpretation, sure, but your authority on the ice, that's earned through how you project yourself. What silent, nonverbal message do you send when you assess a penalty? Are you rushing it, mumbling the number, maybe looking a little nervous?
Or do you do it slowly, with a controlled cadence?
Exactly. Keeping a consistent, serious facial expression. That composure and that cadence delivery, that promotes credibility. It makes sure everyone in the entire building understands your call. And that ultimately is the strongest, quietest form of authority you have. Now go out there and command those benches.